This happened, but I don't really care. I'ma get the fuck up out of here. This shit, I'm out.
We got breaking news about Usman Makhachev may retire straight after UFC 330 after his first welterweight title defense against Ian Machado Gary. So it says breaking reports indicate that Usman Makhachev might retire from MMA following his upcoming title defense against Ian Machado Gary at UFC 330, choosing to walk away from the sport. Having already ruled the lightweight division and successfully stepped up to win a 170-pound belt, Islam sees little left to prove, and much like his mentor Khabib Nurmagomedov, he could exit at the top of the pound-for-pound rankings, healthy to focus on his family rather than take a further physical toll. So, oh, Jesus. So what I was saying was, so if Islam Makhachev loses, he's guaranteed gonna retire. If he wins, he's probably still guaranteed gonna retire. And look at people in the comments saying Dagestan quitters never have a top 5 all time. This one says good, always happy to see Fight retire. He was why would he retire on the loss after Gary beats him? He used to go back to 155 and he fight Jaboria. Fight Justin who can beat East and retain the belt and retire. Oh, bro, how do I hide these? Yeah, like this one. Is what needs to this man really? Instead of continuing your legacy to be one of the best who do it, you choose to walk away at the pinnacle of your career. A man Connor with broken legs at 38 still come to join the fray. Who tell him, bro? Who inspired him to walk away? And this comment says right here, not surprised. He would never fight Morales or Shafka. He's scraped by with fighting Ian Gary, who doesn't have that much knockout power, but he has some power. He's scraped by fighting Ian Gary. Because Ian Gary does not have that one shot KO power like a Protez, Morales, Shafkat. Like he's not gonna stay at 170 for long. I had a feeling he was gonna retire because the competition's getting better, and that's a trend with Dagestanis. When they get at the top and they retire when the competition's better. Because with this win and like with one more win, he's the GOAT of the sport. But let's look at some of his lightweight title defenses. So we got Hanato Moicano. He defended. It was supposed to be Armin Sarukian, but Armin Sarukian pulled out on the day's notice, so it ended up being Hanato Moicano. And he easily subbed Hanato Moicano, which Hanato Moicano was giving trouble on the feet, by the way. I'm just saying. With the jab and keeping him at range. Like, Islam's not that good at closing distance. So, yeah, one Mickey Mouse title defense. He got another Mickey Mouse title defense. Well, I only say this one's Mickey Mouse because Dustin Poirier was old. Like, he had a false hip. Like, come on. And he fought Volkanovski on, like, a few days' notice. That was the Mickey Mouse title defense, to be real. Like, we have to be objective here. Like, some of these are Mickey Mouse title defenses. Like, I know it's Alexander Volkanovski, but it was on a few days' notice. Same with Hanato Moicano was on a few days. It was on 1 day notice. Are you kidding me? It was on 1 day's notice. I bet you Armin Shuriken would have given him a lot of trouble too. He got a title shot off of beating King Green, which I know none of the people drinking want to fight him. I think That's what people were saying. They were saying that no one wanted to fight him, and then people were pulling out. I guess I think so. He got tossed out beating King Green, which Charles Oliveira by submission by dropping him and then subbing him by arm triangle is one of his best wins. I think this and the Volkanovski win are neck and neck just because Volkanovski was a featherweight. And that was his like really only time committing up to lightweight. And then we go to Habib Nurmagomedov. So I don't think this is a prime Gaethje he beat, even though this is a young Gaethje compared to Gaethje that knows how to throw a jab nowadays. Like who actually like is more patient and technical with his chaos. I don't think he would. Like this was the young dumb Gaethje, and then he did beat Prime Poirier by sub, but Poirier, let's be real, even though he has a black belt, he does not have that good of wrestling defense or submission defense for some reason. He has some good submission defense, but and he beat McGregor by submission. This was a McGregor, by the way, that was coming off of the loss of the Floyd Mayweather, making like a crap ton of money. He was never the same person after the Mayweather fight. He wasn't. If this was prime McGregor, I bet you this fight would have looked a lot different. And he beat Ally Quinta to win the belt. Like, come on. I know this was short notice. I don't remember who he was supposed to fight, but I know this was short notice. But still, he beat Ally Quinta to win the belt. Then we go to Usman Nurmagomedov over here. So he beat the brother of Patricio Pitbull, who's old and washed. They're both old and washed. He beat Benson Henderson. He tested positive for steroids for Brent Primus, so that got turned to a no contest. So that nigga also a steroid cheat. But I don't care what no one says. He lost to Paul Hughes twice. He did 3-2. He should have lost to Paul Hughes twice. And he beat Alfie Davis, which who even is Alfie Davis? He's this random English guy. Bruh. What the heck? Anyway, what I was saying was, like, Usman Nurmagomedov is nowhere near UFC level. He's just not. He's way too hittable. He can barely take people down. Like, watch out, he might hold you up against the fence. That's it. He has some good striking, but not all that. Like, and he has majority decisions in the PFL. Like, imagine what Gaethje would do to Usman Nurmagomedov. Imagine what Taporia would do to Usman Nurmagomedov. Imagine what Manuel Torres would do to Usman Nurmagomedov. Imagine what freaking Mateus Camilo would do to Usman Nurmagomedov. You see the problem here? Imagine Mitchell pick Orba is about to wait. Bro, this nigga had a close fight with freaking Jordan Vucenic. No, this nigga lost to Paul Hughes, who had a close fight with freaking Jordan Vucenic, who lost to Chris Duncan. But you lost to a guy who's like, his best win is freaking Jordan Vucenic by a split decision. He lost for freaking Jordan Vucenic. By the way, they're 1-1. I'm sick of the glaze of this guy. Like saying, I hear people saying this guy, and we'll talk about the delusion of this guy later. But it's just ridiculous because like Kanato Moicano would probably destroy this guy. Bro, Quillen Southcote will molest this guy. Quillen Southcote will molest freaking Paul Hughes and Usman Nurmagomedov in the same night, and I'm not joking. Uh, uh, and this nigga's best wins are freaking Paul Hughes and Benson Henderson. Oh my goodness. Freaking Topuria sleeps this guy. Armin probably submits him for all I care. Bro, even Patty's so bad, but I would pick Patty to beat this guy. Imagine how bad you have to be for me to pick Patty to beat you. Like, you have to be so bad for me to pick Patrick Pimblett, to beat you. Charles Oliveira would squeeze this guy's neck off. Like, and he said, this is the last fight on his contract, by the way. That's what I was thinking of saying. Yeah, cause his next fight is the last fight on his contract. Right here. Oh my gosh, shut up. Bro, imagine what freaking Manuel Torres. No, Manuel Torres would knock this guy out stiff. Imagine what Miktabek Orbai would do to these guys. He's a very small welterweight. The compromise Orbai that fought Miktabek Rebecca clears freaking Usman Nurmagomedov. He sons Usman Nurmagomedov and Paul Hughes in the same night. No trolling. He would punk Usman Nurmagomedov. Orbai would freaking no glaze. Or Miktabek Orbai would punk Usman Nurmagomedov and Paul Hughes and Ben Henderson. He would punk all of Usman's best wins. If this guy gets a ranked guy in his debut, it's over. Whether it's Gamrot, whether it's Quillen Southcote, Manuel Torres, freaking Rafael Fiziev, freaking Charles Oliveira, like, imagine what imagine what Bobby Green would probably do to this guy. I'm not even lying. Bobby King Green will probably beat Paul Hughes. He probably knock out Paul Hughes and like go to a split decision like Usman Nurmagomedov. I'm dead serious. Bobby Green. Like, are you kidding me? Bro, I'd pick Dan Hooker to beat. I'd pick Dan Hooker to beat Paul Hughes. I'd pick Dan Hooker to beat Usman Nurmagomedov. Bro, Mauricio Hoofy was slime Usman Nurmagomedov. He was slime Paul Hughes like a freaking wheel kick or something. The only guy I'd pick either of these guys to beat is freaking Tom Nolan. That's it. Even then, I'd be worried for him. Benoit Saint Denis would rape both of these guys, bro. I'm not even kidding you. Bro, Benoit Saint Denis. Bro. Imagine what Benoit Saint Denis would do to these guys. Ilya Taporia, Ilya Taporia pulverizes both of those guys. Like, come on. And then we're gonna talk about this guy's delusions right here. He can beat some unranked cans and maybe some French top 15 guys, but freaking he struggled with freaking what's his name? I'm thinking of him. I don't, I just thought this guy. Please give me a second. Um, bro, he freaking bro. I don't even think I'd pick. I don't even think I'd pick Usman Nurmagomedov to beat Mateus Camilo. The guy just KO'd Nazim Sadikov. Like seriously, imagine what freaking Mateus Camilo would probably do to these guys. Bro, imagine what freaking Fereziyama would do to Paul Hughes. Imagine what Fereziyama would do to Paul Hughes, and he'd probably go to like a decision with Usman Nurmagomedov and edge it out. I bet you. Like, I don't think this guy beats that much people in the UFC. I'm dead serious. Bro, he struggled like with Arnold Allen. And Allen's a featherweight, bro. Imagine what Arnold Allen would do to these guys. Imagine what Diego Lopez would do to these guys. Imagine what John Silva would do to either of these guys. Like, imagine what, bro. I would not pick either Usman Nurmagomedov or Paul Hughes to beat Doo Ho Choi. I'm dead serious. And they're featherweights. Those guys are featherweights. Bro, Paul Hughes will get submitted by freaking Jim Miller. And he'd probably take Usman Nurmagomedov for like a split decision or something. I bet you. Watch some way. He was losing to Paul Hughes. Like, I feel like this is getting ridiculous at this point. How glazed this guy is getting. I'm not even sure if I'll pick Paul Hughes to beat Jai Herbert. Like, these PFL guys are not UFC level. At all. Imagine if freaking Esteban Rebics would do to this guy. Imagine. Imagine what Aaron Pico would do to this guy. I bet you, Aaron Pico would probably beat this guy 9 out of 10 times. So he probably gets chinned like a lunch. Watch. Aaron Pico would probably beat this guy. He's a featherweight. I'm not even sure if these guys beat Chris Duncan. Paul Hughes will get flatline KO'd by Terrence McKinney. Are you kidding me? Bro, these guys would beat freaking Adrian Yanez, and he's a freaking featherweight, if I'm not mistaken. But imagine what freaking Kevin Vallejos will freaking molest both of these guys. Holloway will freaking molest both these guys. Now we gotta get to Usman Nurmagomedov's delusion. So if you can't hear this, I believe this has subtitles. So yeah, you kind of do, guy. You kind of do, my guy. You lost to Paul Hughes twice. You got 2 robbery wins because you were in Abu Dhabi, and he really thinks you would beat either of these guys. Like, no, you get flatline KO'd by Ilya Taporia, and you would get ground and pound TKO'd by Armin Sarukian. Like, stop playing with. And he was also. Oh my goodness, I gotta go back to bookmark so quick. Okay, so this is what Usman and Magomedov is saying. His only competitive fight in the UFC would be Armin Sarukian. Armin Sarukian. He's not. He's not on UFC level. He's not. He said it says Usman Nurmagomedov easily believes that he can beat easily beat all UFC top 5, and the only one that gave him a competitive fight is Armin. So he thinks he could beat Armin. Is it talk your shit? You talk your stuff. But when Oliveira molests you, Holloway dismantles you, Elliott brutally KOs you, and Armin ability you don't be running to the pit after that. He is really the worst Nurmagomedov there is. At least Umar fighting on the top level. Exactly. At least Umar is like the number 3 contender, and that's come off like a 3-2 loss to Marab, who was dominating the division. Marab had like 2 or 3 title defenses, I believe. Was about to get the 4. And he says, I'm a fan of Daggy's, but I'm not sure on Usman. He's a little bit overrated, and he has the last name in the rub. I don't think he's all that. I don't think he's all that either. Like, he has mediocre striking, and he can't, like, pin people down like Khabib or Makhachev can. He says, Ilya would knock this guy out, definitely. Unless his wrestling has improved. Unless his wrestling has seriously improved since his last fight, the only easy fight from him top five is BSD. Even BSD would probably beat this guy. Even BSD would probably punk this guy. BSD would probably, even with that horrendous takedown he does, that fight that's Freddy's takedown he does, he'd He'd probably mat return Usman Nurmagomedov. He would probably slam him to the ground and elbow his face into oblivion. That's how bad Usman Nurmagomedov is. He's not on that top level. The rest are either top ups or he ekes out a close decision. Might even come out on the wrong end of the decisions. I'm not sure about his finishing ability either. That's another thing. His finishing ability is very low. In the PFL, I believe he has 1, 2. No, he has. Oh my. Ugh. 1. Oh no, that's Bellator. So he only has 1 finish in the PFL, and like 1, 2, 3, 4. He has 4 finishes. He only has he has majority decisions. Like he doesn't have that much finishing threat. He says, "Dude, struggle with that fake Irish. You're gonna realize how the UFC struggle." I'm saying the UFC's a totally different level than the PFL. If Paul Hughes is landing these shots on you, imagine what Ilya Taporia would do. He's too cocky. Khabib needs to come back to the camp and humble him a bit. I'm saying, feed him the Gamrot. Feed him the Gamrot. See what happens. Give him Mateus Gamrot. See what happens. Please give Mateus Gamrot. See what happens. Please. Please give Usman Nurmagomedov Mateus Gamrot. See what happens. Please. Mateus Gamrot would ragdoll this guy. He would punk this guy. He would stun this guy. Mateus Gamrot molests this guy. And he says, Taporia smokes Usman as well. I agree. And he says, lol, you're having competitive fights and Bung leaves in some Bellator. You think you have shortage of competitive fights in the UFC? Just make the jump and FAFO. Oh. It's just, Ilya would do bad things. Ilya would do horrendous things to this guy. He's just Armin lost to Gamrot. Usman gonna got this Dagestani guy right here. Usman couldn't finish Paul Hughes. In fact, it was actually a razor thin decision both times. That both went to Paul Hughes, by the way. And this is Armin strangling him like a chicken. I agree. This is Arbum lost to Gamrot, which is a robbery, by the way, and lost to Wash Charles. Well, he got the win, so. He just almost lost to Wash Charles. There's a reason why Arbum is scared and pulled out of the Islam meme. He missed weight. But Arbum is going to pull out against Usman too, except that you're not fan of him, you are in the UFC. Both of them are infinitely better grapplers than Paul Hughes, except that you're not a fan of MMA, you're just in that bandwagon for any Muslim fighters. Usman's parents are cousins, and in-reading rate in Dagestan is 97% or something, which is actually insane. We need to talk about this more. Yeah, I agree. He won't be in the UFC. Lightweight already has John Pork. There's a reason Khabib draws John Pork. Yeah, John Pork is probably gonna slime out that Polish guy on Saturday. That's the future fight at 155. If he can even get to the top 5, guy went to a close decision who lost to Paul. This guy lost to Paul Hughes. He went to a close decision to Paul Hughes, who lost to Jordan Vucenic, who got cut after going 0-2. By the way, he's lucky if he can even get to Moicano. He can't even get to Moicano. I don't think he'd even get to Renato Moicano. Renato Moicano would probably strangle this guy with a rear naked choke. Then why are you still in the PFL? Like, Usman Nurmagomedov is completely irrational, and these Dagestanis have a common trend of leaving when the competition gets greater. Like when it gets more challenging, they often just dip like as soon as they can. So this is bad, and we need to talk about this more. I get that Khabib was kind of saying that his mom was like, Khabib, I don't want you to fight no more, and like, okay, kind of. But then But then you're out here scamming people, and within and you're making millions of dollars within hours and deleting posts. Like you don't have that much morals. So you're really saying that I retired because I'm just a guy, brother. No, you're not. You retired because competition got harder. You were supposed to move up and fight GSP, which I still believe to this day that GSP would have had a field day. By the way, he would. That's my hot take. GSP would have a field. He would have had a field day with Habib. So yeah, like he's gonna retire after 330, and then Usman's probably gonna enter in as a new Dagestani favorite of the rest because he has a Nurmagomedov last name. So this is gonna be fun to witness, but it's gonna be fun to witness him getting slimed out. So I actually can't wait for him to get in the UFC and get a piece of humble pie. So I'm making my predictions on Saturday because I already know my predictions. I just gotta think of them a little bit more. So yeah, I'll be back probably on Saturday. See you guys later.